Hello, everybody. It is I, Nikita Thomas. I am your coach of the 7-day Zero Tolerance Self-Love Challenge. You are my coachees. You are here. I am here because we are challenging ourselves. That is what this challenge is all about. It is challenging ourselves to love ourselves more. We have been challenged for 6 days, so 5 days so far. Today is day 6, but we've been challenging ourselves. 6 days, one more day to go tomorrow. We have challenged ourselves. Monday I introduced you. That was a challenge for me to tell a little bit about myself, a lot about myself. I talked for an hour. I think that was the most that I've ever done on a video. That was a challenge for me. If you listened, it might have been a challenge for you to listen to some of the things that I talked about. Day 2, Tuesday, we did mental health. That was the challenge. Mental health, we challenged ourselves on topics of mental health and mental illness. We challenged ourselves to think more healthy about our thoughts. Day 3, we did financial freedom. I had a special guest. My technology failed on me, so I was not able to have her on live. But I did discuss financial freedom for Wealth Wednesday. That was our challenge, challenging ourselves more. I gave you my 10 secrets. Actually, it was like 10 plus. I gave you my 10 plus secrets for how to build wealth right now in 2020. Thursday, we did social etiquette. That was about business, starting an online business. I had a special guest speaker. I had Darcy Ogandaga from France join us for that conversation. And he spoke on his 3 key points for how to start an online business. Yesterday, we did physical strength. My husband joined me for Fitness Friday, and we did a fitness video to challenge ourselves physically. I actually did not participate with him physically, but I kind of coached him, I guess you would say. Coached him on well, he coached me before we did the video, and then I coached him while he was actually doing the fitness strategies and techniques that we have put together for you all. Today, we are focusing on emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is another important topic that I believe makes us who we are, helps us to be who we are. That is what we are talking about today. So let's go ahead and get right in with the topic of discussion today. I am coming to you from my video on my phone. I'm simply recording this video for you because I attempted to go live today, and I was challenged with my phone service not working. I have Verizon, and for whatever reason, Verizon has been very slow today as far as data goes. So I don't know if there's something on with the towers or whatnot, but I did call, talk to customer service, did some little troubleshooting, tried to work it out, didn't help. So I opted to just create this video, record it on my phone, and then I'm posting it in the group. And if you're watching it now, you are watching the recorded version of this. So here we go. Let's talk about emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is our ability, basically it's self-control. If you ask me, if I had to put it to you in one word, it is the ability to control your emotions. It is not only the ability to control your emotions. By controlling your emotions, the foundation for that, the key to controlling your emotions is understanding your emotions. So before you can even control your emotions, you have to understand what it is you are feeling, why you are feeling what you are feeling, how you got to a point to where those feelings came to be, and we're also going to discuss what can you do to increase your emotional intelligence if you feel like you're one of those people that can be a lot more unstable when situations happen that are out of your control. Something about myself when it comes to emotional intelligence. When I was younger, I was always the type of person who was emotionally intelligent. And when I say that, I was very patient. Like I've said before, growing up in a family business where we had to take care of mentally and physically handicapped people challenges your emotional intelligence, because you cannot afford to react just because someone else is reacting in a certain way. Not all the time, especially when the reactions or actions from someone are negative or bad, something that can be harmful, something that can be dangerous. Some people, if you know anything about people who are mentally and physically handicapped, they have a tendency to be unbalanced chemically, to where anything can kind of set them off sometimes, and anything can happen basically. But the goal is to stay in control. I have been in situations, a lot of situations, where I've been around people who are not very controlled. Ironically, I have found something that is very has always been kind of weird to me, kind of strange. Usually what I found is the people who don't have control over themselves or don't know how to control themselves are usually, like, they try to be the most controlling people. Like, those are the type of people that will try to control you and control what you do when they can't even control themselves. And it's like, why would you try to control me and you can't control yourself? That makes no sense. Right now in the world today, we have a very unstable situation going on. Well, it has been presented and a lot of people have reacted to it in very unstable ways. We've had some occurrences, some death occurrences that have went viral, meaning there's some news situations, a couple of cases of people being harmed and murdered and killed by cops and things like that. And this is not something that it just didn't start happening. This is something we've experienced before. And typically, usually when those situations happen, a lot of people get very unstable in their response to that. And most people feel justified for how they react, no matter what it is. But the goal is, like I say, emotional intelligence. It is being wise about the actions that we take when situations arise that are out of our control. It's like in my book, Zero Tolerance, I talk about how to keep yourself 100. How to keep you 100, which means, you know, in my book, remember the cover, you start at 0, go up to 100. You wake up every morning, you are at 100. You are, for example, you are $100 bill. This is you. You look in the mirror and this is what you see. I am wealth when I look in the mirror. I am worth 100. You don't have to use 100. You can use any increment you want, but I use 100 because this is one of the highest top bills. So I didn't want to say keep yourself $1, keep yourself a nickel, keep yourself a penny. Keep you 100. And that's also a slogan a lot of people like to say. Keep it 100. Keep you 100. So imagine yourself. You are a $100 bill when you wake up in the morning. A crispy, fresh $100 bill. Now, in the course of a day, what do you allow to keep you 100 versus what do you allow to withdraw from you? So if you are a $100 bill, you are in your own zone, your own safety deposit box. You are the thing that keeps you protected. You are the thing that guards your heart, guards your mind, guards your body. You are the one who does that for you. So what do you do to keep you 100? Say, for example, you get up in the morning, you get dressed, you're feeling 100. Yeah, you get putting your clothes on, you showering. I am good. I am ready to go. I'm about to take this world on. You're going to work, you're going to school, wherever you are going for that day. You get up, even if you're not going anywhere. You get up, you feel like you're on top of the world, okay? Then all of a sudden, say you get ready to go to work, go to school, go to the store, go shopping, and while you're driving, somebody kind of cuts you off or flicks you off or something. How do you respond to that? Do you in turn start flicking that person off? Do you jump into a attitude, a mode of road rage and just start freaking out at the person? If you carry a gun, concealed weapon, a license gun with you, do you pull that out and just feel like you want to just go postal on the person? Or do you just keep on moseying along? And, you know, for me, if it was me, I'd just keep moseying along, and my thought would be, well, you know, keep calm and carry on. Thank God we didn't get into an accident, because you just wanted to cut me off and act a fool and flip me off for whatever reason. Maybe I was driving too slow for you, or maybe whatever reason, you know. So rather than give someone that much of me, I prefer to keep me 100, you know. I don't want to give you all that. You know, you might have been giving that to me, but I don't want to give you that. I'm worth more than that. You're worth more than that, okay? So that is how I have always handled and dealt with being emotionally intelligent. If you're at home, maybe you're not going anywhere, you wake up, like I said, you're feeling on top of the world, you are feeling like you are 100. All of a sudden you get a call, you see something on social networks, somebody sends you a message, somebody you wake up with, your spouse, your significant other, your kids, you know, do something that sets you off. How do you respond to that? Do you keep yourself 100, or do you freak out? And when you freak out, do you freak out to the point to where you can't no longer control yourself? Something I've learned about myself, something I learned about myself years ago, when I have reached those points in my life of zero. Something I know about myself is when I get to those points of zero, when I'm at zero tolerance, I've basically allowed whatever is going on in my life to bring me all the way down. I usually have to ride out whatever that emotion is. If I'm angry, if I'm hurt, if I'm upset, whatever it is, if it's a negative emotion, I have to ride that out the same way I ride out being positive every day. Being self-driven, I have to ride that out, you know, and I have to ride it out to the point to where I don't feel it anymore. So whatever that means for me, however I choose to handle that or do that, you know, sometimes I have moments, my husband will tell you, sometimes I have moments where I kind of spaz out, and I might get to talking for a good 30 minutes straight, and I'm just going off on him about something that, you know, happened with us, or, you know, and I'm the type of person who, I may not react in that moment of what's going on, but I'll let it marinate, like how my book talks about. I'll let it marinate, you know, and I try to do that to try to diffuse myself a little bit, so that I'm not fighting fire with fire. So I let it marinate, you know, kind of bring myself down. But I'm a human just like anybody else. I'm human just like you. We have honest emotions. We have honest emotions that we have to share and we have to express. We have to get that out. And actually, if you can get that out, it's actually a lot better than holding it in. Trust me. In my book, I also talk about how I experienced a nervous breakdown from years of just, I reached a point in my life, I want to say I was about 30 when this happened, or a little bit, oh no, I think I was a little bit over 30, or I might, yeah, I think I was a little bit over 30. But anyway, I reached a point in my life where a lot of the things that I had dealt with from youth to adolescence to I mean, all that teenage years, to being a young adult, to becoming a mother at the age of getting pregnant at 16 and having my first child at 17, having one 13 months later at the age of 18, having another daughter at the age of 21. Like, those were all the peak moments when technically, normally, a young lady or a young man is supposed to be experiencing life, as far as graduating from high school, learning to drive, all the things that you would think that I should have been focused on. I was not focused on. I was having kids, and I was actually trying to build a family at a very young age. That's just where my mindset was at that time. It was, once I got pregnant, it was just like, okay, I have a child now. A child deserves a family. That's what a child should have. So that was my goal. Because of that, like I say, I carried, once I had a child, you know, once you have kids, you really don't get a lot of time to have emotions when you have a child, because you have to now deal with the child's emotions. Instead of me having time to cry, I am now dealing with a child that is crying. And then on top of that, like I say, 13 months later, I had a second child. So now I have two children that are crying. So I have to deal with their emotions first. I have to make sure that they're okay. I didn't have time to check myself, and say, hey, Keita, are you okay? I rarely checked on myself. I was too busy checking on my kids, or dealing with situations where I was having to check on other people, being in situations where people were demanding of me to check on them more than I checked on myself, and check on them more than they even checked on me, as far as how I was feeling and what was going on with me. So I didn't have time to do that. Well, I reached a point in my life where I was alone. None of my kids were with me, and all of a sudden it seemed like the world just came crashing down on me. I had a nervous breakdown, and over the years I've learned, like, symptoms of suicide, I believe, from hearing those symptoms, of like signs that you can look out for when someone is going to commit suicide. I think I was like right on the edge of feeling like I wanted to kill myself. But honestly, I never felt like that. Like, I never told myself I want to kill myself, or I never really felt like I didn't deserve to be here in this life. I knew that there was something more for me. Emotional intelligence, that is what emotional intelligence is being motivated towards a bigger purpose. I always knew I had a bigger purpose in life. So that in itself kind of stabilized me a lot of the time. It was like I always had something to live for. Even if I didn't have my kids with me, even if I didn't have a significant other, even if I was away from my family, I didn't have my parents around me, I believed I had a bigger purpose in life that was bigger than me, and that is what always kept me. That is always what made me feel alive, even at moments where my darkest moments. So in that moment where I had a nervous breakdown, I would wake up in the morning. I did not feel 100. I did not know how to keep myself 100. I would wake up in the morning and it felt like the walls were closing in on me every single day. It felt like I was fighting to breathe. So I would tell myself, I would have to talk to myself, Keita, get up, get dressed, go outside, go take a walk. At the time I wasn't working. And again, I didn't have my kids with me. I was used to being a mother from like the age of 16. And even before that, I was always taking care of somebody else's kids or something. I was a babysitter. So I was used to always caring for other people. And this was the first time I was in a position to where I had no one to care for other than myself. And I did not know how to do that. I did not know how to do that. And it didn't help that I didn't have anybody around me. It was basically like I didn't have anything to distract me from not caring for myself. My kids weren't there for me to take care of them, so I had to focus on me. I had to mirror. I had to look at me. That was one of the hardest things for me to do, because in that moment it was like, who am I? How did I get here? Like, what has been going on all these years, and what did I miss? So it was almost like I did like a self-reflection. But the more I would reflect on things, I went through the same process of like when I was writing my book, those feelings of things that I had experienced but never actually dealt with. Those emotions just came crashing down on me, and all of a sudden I found myself one day, I just started crying, and I could not stop crying. My whole it seemed like my whole spirit, my whole soul just started pouring out, and I couldn't stop. And I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried, and finally I got to the point to where I stopped crying. And the only reason I stopped crying is because it was like I cried about everything. I didn't have anything left to cry about. I was done. But it was like years and years and years of tears that I should have taken moments, long before then, to either express how I felt at certain moments when I was experiencing things, or to cry. However you put it, I should have taken the time for myself, to care enough about myself to express my emotions in whatever moments that I was going through. I should have, instead of having that patience, or instead of, turning the other cheek and saying, oh, it's not a big deal, I won't worry about it. I am now the person where if you do something to me, or if you say something to me, and it's something that, bothers me, or I don't like it, I will let you know. And I'm not necessarily letting you know just because I just feel like I gotta snap at you. I'm not the roll your head chick that I just gotta go off on you right now. I need to get this out of me. I need you to understand that I understand how I'm feeling right now. And I have to express this to you. Even if you don't want to hear it, I have to get this out of me. Not as a complaint, as me just letting you know, look, what you did to me bothered me. What happened in that moment, even if it wasn't you, what happened in that moment, where we were, what those people did bothered me. Hey, you remember that situation? I didn't like this. Those are honest emotions. And what I've learned is that keeps me 100. That keeps me from getting so out of sorts, that I don't cry anymore. I honestly don't. Like I said, when those moments happen, I express how I feel. I get that off, even if I have to journal it. Even if, there's nobody there for me to listen to, I write that down. I maybe will get online and maybe express some stuff. I used to do that a lot. However I was feeling, I would put that out there. Now, the thing about that is, with social networking, when you put yourself out there like that, and hey, this is how I feel, and you put that energy out in the world, and you have people who come back at you on how you feel, and people will challenge you on how you feel. And it's like, no, I don't want you to challenge me. I didn't want to be challenged for that. I was just basically using this platform to express myself, and basically, instead of trying to challenge me, maybe you could just come in and comment and say, hey, I don't totally understand where you're coming from, but I'm glad you at least, felt the need to express yourself. Sometimes it's not about always trying to fix somebody, and people tend to think that, oh, they're saying that stuff because we need to go over there and fix them. I've noticed on social media, a lot of times people will gravitate to those. If you put something out like, oh, I'm having a bad day, people will flock to that. Oh, I got to go over there. I got to go fix them. But if you're someone who's always positive, people rarely come to you. I'm somebody that on social networking, people rarely come to me because I'm always positive. I'm always so upbeat. And you can't come to me with that, I need to save her, I need to fix her mentality, because what are you fixing? If I'm always happy, or if I'm always positive, there's nothing there for you to fix. Nothing there. So most of the time, people gravitate to the people that, oh, I have to go over here and I have to fix this. Sometimes things don't need to be fixed. Sometimes you just need to let that person express themselves, or let them go through whatever they're going through, and have trust in something bigger than yourself, that everything will be okay. Maybe it's nothing for you to do in that moment. But anyway, being emotionally intelligent is something that was introduced by Wayne Payne in the 20th century. This is a concept that is something that someone decided to study, as far as with respect to people. I choose to be around positive people. That is how I maintain my emotional intelligence. That is just who I am. Being around people who are constantly complaining, negativity, that does not work for me. That is not healthy, because the first thing I'm going to do, and the first thing I'm going to say is, hey, like I've said before in my other videos, and challenges before today, how can we fix this? Okay, you've told me what the problem is. You can't go on for 20 minutes, 20 days, 20 weeks, 20 hours, 20 years. You can't go on forever with this, carrying this same problem. Get to the solution. And I guarantee you the solution will come a lot faster than how you're, constantly trying to deal with the problem than you think. Okay, so emotional intelligence is the ability to be aware, of who we are, of what we're going through, to understand that. If you have to question yourself, why do I feel like this right now? Question that and be honest with yourself. If somebody broke up with you, ended a relationship, why do I feel so hurt right now? Well, okay, I feel hurt because I gave this person all that I had, and this person basically just threw me to the wind, or cheated on me, or whatever your situation was, and now I feel empty behind this. Now I don't know, where to put my love, because for all this time I was giving my love to this person, and now I have to reposition myself. I have to reposition my love. Well, the way that you do that is you position your love to your love for yourself. If you're constantly Loving on yourself, what I've learned is when someone else doesn't love you the way that you need to be loved, it's okay. It's always okay because you are loving yourself the way that you need to be loved. That is all that matters. At the end of the day, that is all that matters. When me and my husband first, got together and were dating and going through the dating process, one of the most challenging, that will challenge your emotions, dating someone new, someone that you've never known. Dating challenges you in ways that you probably had never even been challenged before. But I remember, telling him that happiness is not something that I seek from another person, and I didn't want me to be even his source of happiness. You should wake up and be happy and feel happy because you are breathing, because you have life. You should have reason and purpose in life. That should make you happy. But to put the responsibility of someone else being the source of your happiness, that is not healthy. Because guess what? When that person is gone, for whatever reason, if it was somebody you were dating, if it was your child, if that person passed away, and is now deceased, now you're going to feel a level of emptiness that if you didn't always look to that person as your source of happiness, you would be a lot more okay than you are. Trust me, I know this. I'm one of those people that I'm not big on doing funerals. And the reason I'm not big on doing funerals is because I celebrate life every day. I celebrate people every day. I celebrate my family every day, whether they like me, love me or not, whether I like them, love them or not, in moments or whatever is going on. I celebrate life every day. I keep it 100 so that when those people are gone or that person passes away, I know in my heart, I love this person 100%. That was my family. We might have had our differences, but I celebrated the life of that person. And the way I know I celebrated the life of that person is because I celebrate my life. So when I celebrate me, I'm celebrating you. I'm celebrating everybody that is connected to me. I'm celebrating my parents for giving birth to me. My deceased father, I am celebrating him. My stepfather, I am celebrating him. I am celebrating my brothers because they are my brothers. When I celebrate me, I am celebrating you. I am celebrating my children because God gave me, I was the person who gave life to them. I'm celebrating my husband because for whatever reason, after years of dating, he ended up being the one after one marriage. This is my second marriage. He ended up being the one that loves me unconditionally. So I celebrate me, every part of me. And when I celebrate every part of me, I am celebrating you even if you don't celebrate you. That's all I can do. So let's talk about the 5 traits of emotional intelligence. The number 1 trait of and I'm going to use my board because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So, I don't really like the whiteboard as much. I have been looking into getting one of the paper flip boards, the big huge ones. Because number 1, I don't have this on an easel yet. And then number 2, it's a lot easier for me to write on paper than it is for me to write on a board. So the number 1 trait emotional intelligence. The number 1 trait is self-awareness. We have to know who we are. We have to know who we are emotionally. We have to know who we are socially. When I say you have to know who you are socially, I mean you have to know what works for you. I am the type of person, and it's not because I'm like snobby and I don't snuck up and all that. I honestly don't like to be in large groups of females. I don't like to I don't really like to go to functions that don't serve me well when it comes to being around a lot of people. Honestly, it doesn't matter if you're female or male. But namely, I don't like to go to like let's say functions, little get-togethers where we're going to get together and we do like the little man bashing group. Like one of our friends broke up with her boyfriend, or her and her husband divorced or something, and now we're going to have a man bashing party. So we're all going to come together and drink and talk about how this guy was just a dirty dog, and that's the whole substance of the conversation, that's the whole substance of the party. That is not me. I typically just don't do well in those environments. I don't have much to say in those environments. I don't do well in environments where people do a lot of cursing in the conversation. Now, mind you, I cuss. You know what I'm saying? I do. I do it well. My husband, he cusses, you know. But we do that in the privacy of our own homes. And again, we practice a level of emotional intelligence with it. We do it when we try to, we do it when it's just us. We're having a general conversation, and it's not, we do it when hopefully it's not really affecting anybody, meaning I'm not just gonna, cuss somebody out just because. I try to be as emotionally intelligent with my conversation as I can. So if I'm in a room of individuals where anybody is addressing each other as female dog, the bitch. If you are addressing yourself like that, I probably won't do well in a conversation with you, because I just believe in addressing people by their name. I believe in addressing people respectfully, because I believe you get what you give. So I don't want anyone to feel comfortable, if I'm calling you out of your name, to feel comfortable doing that to me. Not that it bothers me to be called out of my name, because there are times when I am a female dog. I will tell my husband that. If you call me a B right now, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably acting like that. 9 times out of 10, I am that B right now. And that's how I am. So you have to be self-aware. You have to be aware of who you are, the type of people that you like to socialize with. You can't socialize with everyone. When I was growing up, I would be in different groups. A lot of people, when I was going to high school, you have little clusters of people who like to get together. I was always the outsider. I was always the person who I never joined a specific group. But what I would do is, because I'm just me and I'm that happy-go-lucky type of person, I would interrupt those groups. Say for instance, when we had lunch, there was a group of girls over here, and then they were just the ones who all hung out together. I probably would go over there and make some jokes with them and laugh or something, and then run off and go to another group of people. And but just to associate myself with specific groups, I've just never been that person. I've been around gangs. I never associated myself with the gang. And the main reason I never really felt the need to associate myself with the gang is because I paid attention to the activity, the things that were going on in the gang. I feel like, and I believe from experience, it's more than a feeling, just from what I observed and what I experienced, there's a lot of unstable, emotional stuff that goes on in gangs. There's a lot of reactions that you get from people that it's just not always a healthy environment to be in. Now, if it operates something like, we'll say, a boys club, a boys and girls club, or a like Girl Scouts or something like that, if it's that type of group or that type of club, something that is designed to do something proactive. I don't want to be in a group where all we're doing is sitting around all day talking about how we can go rob somebody, or, what somebody was wearing today, what their shoes look like, how their hair looked. That's just not me. But if you put me in a group where I'm learning something, I'm a sponge, if it's something that I can draw from the conversation, something that's going to help me, those are the type of social circles that I like to be in. I am very aware of who I am. Very aware. So I know what works for me, what doesn't. I know what works with me, what doesn't. And I do my best to try to associate myself that way. I don't try to force myself on people. I don't try to make people like me or love me. I don't try to join crowds and join groups that I know that that's just not me. My husband is the same way. He's very much to himself. You know, he doesn't like crowds and he doesn't like to be in groups or whatnot. He doesn't have any guy friends. So that's not something that I have to deal with, like him hanging out with the boys or whatnot. As close as he gets to having guy friends, male friends, is his co-workers. Other than that, it's me and him, and that's how we are. You know, that works for us. So anybody that comes into our environment, it might not necessarily work for them. You know, if you're somebody who likes to have a lot of people around, say for instance if we had somebody live with us, if you like to have a lot of people around you and coming over and all in and out the house, that just is not us. You know, and you know, not that we're mean people and we don't know how to socialize, but again, we just know what works for us. Excuse me. I remember when I first met my husband, I talked to him about maybe us going out, you know, to bars every now and then, or going out to a club and hanging out. I love to dance. My husband was very stern with me. Keita, I really don't like to go out to clubs and bars because not that I can't hang out, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of times, the activity that goes on in those environments, once somebody gets drunk or something, it's like an environment where anything can happen. And my husband is the type of person that, say for instance, if we're walking through a crowd and somebody bumps me or something, or somebody's disrespectful towards me, he's going to want to turn up on that person. He's going to want to react to that person in a way that, you know, you disrespected my wife. He doesn't like to be in environments like that. But he has went out with me, you know, and nothing has happened. But because he expressed that to me and he made me aware of who he is socially, I know not to take him into environments where, you know, the crowd is going to be like real rough and rugged, because that's not a good fit for him. But I have taken him to club like jazz, you know, clubs and stuff like that, environments where I guess, I assume, you know, nothing is really going to break out and he doesn't have to feel so protective over me, because he's protective of me anyway. But I don't like him to always be on watchdog alert, you know, because when we go out, if I want to go out and dance, I'm going out to enjoy myself. So I want him, if we're together, I want him to enjoy himself as much as possible. So self-awareness, being emotionally self-aware, that just means you need to recognize your strengths. A lot of people believe in recognizing your strengths, focusing on your strengths. I'm someone who I like to focus on my weaknesses as well, because if I know my strengths, you know, and I know how to strengthen myself, those weaknesses, at some point I need to access those weaknesses, and I need to, you know, learn how to build those weak aspects. It's just like when I work out, you know, work out my body. I don't just focus on the strong parts of me. I don't just, oh, my arms are strong, so I'm just going to work out on those. No, if my legs are feeling weak, I want to work out my legs as well. And I want to work those a little harder than my arms, because that's my weak spot. If my abs is weak, if my center is weak, I want to work that out because that's my weak spot. A lot of people don't like to do that. A lot of people just say, just focus on your strengths. I agree. But I also, for me, I'm aware of myself. I like to focus on where I am weak as well. I believe that it helps me to be a whole person. You know, I'm strong with you know, marketing and things like that. I'm strong in certain areas, but there's areas where I'm weak, you know. That's just me. So focus on being self-aware. Number 2, on our traits of emotional intelligence. I wanted that to say management. Self-recognition. Self-recognition is number 2. That's wrong. I'm reading my notes and I wrote that wrong. Sorry. Self-regulation. That's what it is. Self-regulation. That is basically managing yourself, knowing the things that trigger you, knowing your impulses, knowing how to act appropriately in a situation, regulating yourself. without someone else having to do it for you. Again, these are all ways of controlling yourself. If you hear my husband right now, something is going on. He's on the PS4. Apparently, something is got him wanting to get out of control right now. Anyway, self-regulation. Regulate yourself. Again, I like to set the tone of my atmosphere. If you are in my home, if you are in my social circle, if you are on my social media, my network, I like to regulate the tone of my atmosphere. I don't necessarily like to feed into things that I know are not for me, so I won't look at too much negativity. That just is not me. I wake up in the morning and I set the tone. What is my tone for the day? What is my mood for the day? How do I feel today? Let me regulate myself and let me continue to keep me 100. How do I do that? I do that by setting the tone. Setting the tone by the type of post that I put out there. If I put some music out there, this is the zone that I'm in right now. This is the mode that I'm in right now. Again, you have to be careful with that, because when you're regulating yourself, sometimes other people don't respond to that too well, you know, and everybody has their own agenda. But it's about managing yourself. Manage who you are. I know who I am. The goal is to act appropriately. Again, I've had my moments of not acting appropriately. I've had moments where before I learned how to be a lot more emotionally intelligent, and I would just let things carry on and bother me, you know, to the point to where it would bother me until one day I would just go off on you. And by the time I go off on you, now again I'm at zero, and I have to get all of this out of me. I have to get all this off of my chest instead of rather than during at some point of time, you know, kind of letting that stuff out as I was going, you know, you let it out and then build it up, you know, let it out and then build it up. That's what I should have been doing. But I was learning how to regulate myself. I was learning how to manage myself. And if you can't regulate yourself, if you can't manage yourself, someone else will have to do it for you. That is why we have a government. If we had more people who could regulate themselves, if we had more people who knew how to manage themselves, there would not be a need for a government system to be set up. There would not be a need for laws to be in place. There would not be a need for jail. Now, granted, don't go there with me. I know there's a lot of people that are in jail, and there's a lot of people in jail for reasons that, you know, are beyond measure, you know. But what I'm saying is, that system was designed and set up to try to regulate and manage people who don't know how to regulate and manage themselves. You know, now I'm not saying everybody that's in there falls under these guidelines. We know the way of the world and how things are and how things have been. What I'm saying is, that was the design of those things. It's just like when you have children. If you have a child and you feel like your child is out of control and you have to find a way to protect your child, what do? You find corrective measures to do. Hopefully you do corrective measures with your child before they get to the point that the government has to step in. But you do things to correct your child's behavior, because a child does not know how to regulate and manage themselves. Whether you're making them sit in the corner in a chair, or, you know, whatever your corrective measures are, whatever methods you use to punish your child when your child does something wrong. It's not necessarily even a way of trying to punish a child. From me, as a parent, as a mother, anytime I've tried to correct my children, I am correcting you because I love you. I am correcting you because you are doing something that I know from experience, or my common sense tells me, if you do that, if you go down that road, you're going to hurt yourself. Something is going to happen to you that I, as your mother, do not want to happen to you. So, how do I stop you before you get too far gone? If I tell you not to cross the street because there's cars coming, a car might hit you, and you decide you want to go out there and cross the street and just not look for cars, guess what? That's why we have laws, because some people don't know how to regulate and manage themselves. That's just the way it is. So, number 2, emotional intelligence. A trait of emotional intelligence is self-regulating, self-management. That means you need no one to do that for you. You are in control of you. Even if you can't control the situation you are in, you are in control of you. That is the goal. Number 3. Oh, where's my number 2? The number 3 trait of being emotionally intelligent is motivation. My definition says being connected to our purpose, feeling like we're making a difference in the world, or having a job that looks to our strengths. That definition right there in itself is me and my husband. When it comes to motivation, I am totally 100% motivated by my purpose in life. That is what drives me every day. I have been waking up since I had my vision. Since God gave me my vision, I have been waking up saying, I have something I have to do in this life. I don't care how long it takes me. I don't care. I'm growing older every day, every year. I'm turning a year older. I have to do this. I have a purpose. That is what drives me every day. If you've ever looked at my social networking pages and you wonder and you question, what in the hell makes her tick like that? What makes her wake up and she's just in go mode every day? That is what it is. Scripture says, our people perish for lack of vision. I have a vision. With that vision, I wake up every day and I feel alive every single day. My vision is what pulls me. My purpose in life is what motivates me. That's what drives me. It's not a specific person. It's not anything outside of what my purpose is. That is what drives me every day. It's not even my kids. If I've had people question, hey, how can you move away from your kids? You know, how can you leave your family? How can you do this? How can you do that? Because I am driven by my purpose. My purpose is bigger than me. My purpose is bigger than everything about me. My purpose is bigger than my kids. It's bigger than my family. I have to do this. I have to do it. Wherever my vision and my purpose takes me, I have to go there. I have to be there. I have to make it happen. I have to. As my nephew Zay says, I have to. I just have to. I have to do it. Again, the definition to motivation. My husband, he is driven by his job. His job works to his strengths. He is a physical person. His body. He loves a reason to work this. That is him. So having a job that gives him the ability every day when he wakes up to strengthen himself even more in the areas where he's already strong, that is what drives him. I don't have to tell him in the morning, hey babe, you got to get up and go to work today. It's time to go to work. Don't have to say anything to him. That is something I know about him. I knew about him before I married him. I knew wherever my purpose takes me, I know that this man right here is going to go the distance with me. He's going to go, and wherever we go, even if he doesn't have a job there, he's going to find some work, because that's what drives him, and that's how he is. That's just him. He's motivated every day to get up and go to work. Even if I don't wake up in the morning with him, he is up fixing his lunch. And guaranteed, even if me and him work together, that is him. Life would continue. He would go on. He would wake up every day, with or without Keita, motivated to go to work, because that is him. That is what sustains his emotional intelligence. A lot of times, because of the physical labor that he's doing, when he goes to work, whatever he's dealing with that may be stressing him out in a day, he goes to work, and that helps, work off how he's feeling. If he's feeling a little angry, if he's feeling a little bothered by something, sometimes there's nothing I can do. But that job, he can go to that job and he's lifting all that cement and that steel, and he's hammering and nailing and he's building stuff up. That's what motivates him. He's a builder when it comes to his job. I am a builder when it comes to my purpose. We are not in the business of tearing things down, neither one of us. Because guess what? While the world, a lot of people in the world are being emotionally unstable and not being emotionally intelligent right now and tearing stuff up and rioting and protesting and destroying stuff, we are the ones. We are some of the ones that are out here that are going to build this stuff up best as we can after people have chosen to tear it down for whatever reason. You know, we are the ones building it up. If you tear a building down, if you tear a property down, if you tear a house down, if you have to tear a store down, we are the ones who are out here saying, hey, that's our job. We need to go build that up. That is what we do. My purpose is to, like I'm here right now, challenging you to build you up mentally, emotionally, physically, socially, financially, all that. My husband is here. He goes outside and he's building those structures up. So that's how we work and that's how we operate. That's what motivates us. That's just what it is. That's a level of emotional intelligence. Number 4. The number 4 trait of being emotionally intelligent is empathy. Now, I have to be honest with you. Empathy is that is something that I'm always been challenged with. I'm not the most empathetic person towards people. And the reason I'm not the most empathetic person towards people is because, like I say, I grew up taking care of mentally and physically handicapped people. I have seen them be more mentally stable than the people who are running around here acting like they just got it under control and they just, are doing the thing, but really they are not. So for that reason, I'm not always empathetic towards people that I feel like you should know better. I feel like even if you don't know, what level of common sense are you exercising or using that you should know better? You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel. So I don't always feel empathy for people in situations where I feel like you can do better. When I was around gang members, I did not feel empathy if, say, for instance, or drug dealers. I did not feel empathy if you chose to be a drug dealer and you know the rules and you know the law. And you end up getting arrested or something. Guess what? It's consequences for our actions. I don't feel empathy, for anyone for that. If you do something that you know there are consequences for your actions, I don't feel empathy for that. Now, if you're a child, that's totally different. Kids don't know better. Unless it's a kid that you know that kid knows better, most of the time kids don't really know what they're doing. So I expect trial and error with kids. I expect kids to do things, and I know you didn't know that, but you also need to learn and you also need to grow. But I expect you at some point when you become an adult, when you are of an adult age and you're doing adult things, I expect that you had learned those lessons so that now you're not in a position to, have me look at you and say, I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for you because you should have learned those lessons. I mean, honestly. And the fact that you chose to ignore the lessons that you were given in life, whether it was you dropped out of school and you just chose to ignore the teacher, whatever you chose to ignore in life, I don't feel empathy for you for that. And that's just how I am. But the definition of empathy is understanding others' points of view, understanding others' challenges, their strengths. You don't have to agree with the others' viewpoints, but at least understanding someone else's viewpoints will help you realize why people act the way they do and why they are the way that they are. Now, that level of empathy, when I listen to the definition, I am that. I mean, I do understand that, drug dealers sell drugs because finances are low and whatnot, and we need money and we need to eat and we need this and we need that. But 9 times out of 10, most of the drug dealers that I've seen that are selling drugs are getting drug money to go buy cars, to go buy all these expensive clothes and all this stuff that's beyond you just surviving. That is not just you I gotta make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying bills. You're not doing the responsible stuff. You're not taking care of your kids. You're not paying child support. You're not doing the responsible stuff. You know what I'm saying? So selling drugs to go get the next nice car, or to go outshine somebody, or just to have stacks of money so you can, walk around and say, hey, look how big my pockets are. That's not a reason to sell drugs to me. Not at all. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. So I have no empathy for that. If you're in a gang and you choose to go do a drive-by and shoot up somebody's house, okay, I understand why you did it, because you didn't like the way that person acted towards you, or that person had on a different color shirt than you want to see in your neighborhood. Okay, but guess what? Who cares? I don't feel empathy for you if you end up in jail, or then if somebody else retaliates on you, and then now you got to suffer the consequences of somebody wearing a different color shirt that you didn't want to see, or you felt like you're regulating your neighborhood, so you didn't want that color in there. Let me tell you, I have been in every neighborhood, and I go in any neighborhood that I want to go in, and I wear any color that I want to wear, even when I was around gang members. That's how I am. I could be in a Crip neighborhood where they wear all blue and I got red on. I could be in a Blood neighborhood where they wear all red and I got on Michigan blue and yellow, blue and maize, because that's my favorite team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that whole process of, I don't feel empathy, and at the same time, like I say, goes both ways. Drug dealers and gang members don't feel empathy for me because they feel like, it's our way, it's our law, and, you should respect this. So if we beat you up or we jump on you, or, we sell drugs to your mama or your uncle or your daddy or whatever, we don't feel sorry for you. So guess what? It goes both ways. If you don't feel empathy for me, I don't feel empathy for you. Ironically, these very people are the people who want somebody to feel empathetic for them. They want somebody to feel sorry for them. And for what? We all have the same opportunities in life. We all have the same chances to be who we want to be in life. And I'm an example of that, so you can't tell me any different. You can't tell me that I'm more privileged than you. You cannot tell me that. You cannot convince me of that, because I know there are challenges, there are struggles. I have overcome so much in my lifetime. And believe it or not, a lot of the things that I've had to overcome were man-made. It was other people bringing their drama, their chaos, their confusion, their stressful way of life, bringing that onto me and trying to force me to deal with what they were dealing with. Why do I have to take responsibility for what you're going through? Take responsibility for that and grow up. Be emotionally intelligent about life. That is what it is about. So empathy is something that, I've been told I have a flippant attitude about things. Keita, when things happen, I don't know if people want to see me cry or just break down, or I don't know what people want to see from me. But if I don't respond the way that people want me to respond, for example, what's going on in the world with, the George Floyd thing. If I don't respond the way people collectively think that we all should collectively respond to something, then I'm viewed as somebody who has no empathy towards the situation. And it's not that I don't have empathy. It's just that, things happen in life. I can't sit and harp and reap and grieve forever over something that happened. My goal is, if you want to come to me and let's talk about a solution, because I'm full of solutions. Let's talk about how we can do something different. Let's talk about how we can collectively get together and let me help you help yourself, and ultimately help others and help the community and help people stay alive. That's what I'm all about. So empathy, that is a trait of being emotionally intelligent. So I'm empathetic, but I don't feel sorry. So that's just me. Now, I had to pick up my marker. The last trait of being emotionally intelligent. Number 5. I had to take a deep breath after that. That's emotional intelligence in action right there. That's how you be emotionally intelligent. Instead of me really getting upset and mad at people for just being who they are, I mean, I'm trying to keep it 100 with you. I'm keeping it 100. I'm trying to keep me 100. So hopefully I can keep you 100. You see this shirt I'm wearing? I am beautiful. Bullying is not. This is my campaign. I am against unnecessary violence. I'm against all forms of assault, sexual assaults, physical assaults. I'm against trafficking, drug trafficking, body trafficking. You know what I'm saying? I'm against all of that. Anything that harms another person intentionally, deliberately, or carelessly, I am against. I'm against bullying. So I created this shirt. This is my campaign for young ladies and even older women who like to bully other women. I created this campaign. I am bullying beautiful. I am beautiful. Bullying is not, because this is my statement to people. You know, stop bullying people. Everybody is beautiful, and everybody is beautiful in their own respect, whatever it is. You are not the judge to say, oh, because that person doesn't look a certain way, doesn't dress a certain way, doesn't act a certain way, that they're not beautiful. You don't get the opportunity. You don't get to say that. We were all born and put on this earth. If God thought that that person, me, you, whoever, was beautiful enough to be born, that person is beautiful. Leave people alone. Let people be who they are. You know, people commit suicide behind being bullied. That's not me. I can't do that. I can't give you that. I can't give you my life and death. I will not do that. So don't do that to other people. Okay? Social skills. This is number 5 of the trait of emotional intelligence. Helping to win other people over quickly. Okay, so that is your social skills. That is what I'm trying to do right now with you. I designed and created this 7-day challenge that I'm in the process of ending, because we have reached an hour, and an hour is my limit, but let's top it off. Okay, helping to win other people over quickly. I created this 7-day challenge, 7 days, to try to win people over quickly, to challenge yourself, to love yourself more. It's all about winning for me. I don't like to lose, and I don't like to see other people lose. Emotional intelligence is a way you win in life. Believe it or not, it is. You might not feel it. You might not feel like I want to be emotionally intelligent. I just want to be emotional. I just want to be every emoji out there right now, and just that's what I want to be. That's you. But what I'm saying is, if you want to win in life, you want to be wise about your emotional decisions. You are human. I'm not saying that you do not have the reason, or it's reasons every day to express yourself emotionally, to be angry, to be happy, to be sad, to be depressed. You can find it anywhere. If you want to find it, you'll find it. If you want a reason to be depressed, I guarantee you a reason to be depressed will come to you. If you want to find a reason to be sad, I guarantee you a reason to be sad will come to you. I want to be happy, so I guarantee you reasons to be happy come to me all the time, every day. That is me. Reasons to be positive come to me all the time, every day, no matter how negative things are around me. My husband is somebody who challenges my emotional intelligence on a daily basis, and he deliberately does it. Don't ask me why he does it. That's just him. He's just one of those type of people. But I tell him all the time, if he was married to somebody else, if he was married to one of those females who have zero tolerance all day, who are always at zero tolerance, it's fighting fire with fire. You know, so sometimes I just have to laugh him off or whatever, blow him off. But sometimes I do have my moments where I'm like, babe, listen, enough is enough. Now you picking, you at me. I don't want to deal with that right now. I got things I got to do. I'm trying to mentally stabilize myself right now. I'm trying to be emotionally intelligent, and you trying to take me to a level of stupidity that I don't want to go there with you, but was about to get stupid. You know, so that's how it is with us. But the goal is to help people win, and I'm trying the 7-day challenge. I'm here to help you win quickly. I came to you to help win you over quickly. You know, that's the goal. So seven days we've done this, okay? Tomorrow, the last day, is Spiritual Awareness Day. I have a special guest that if nothing happens and messes up with the technology, my special guest will be here to in this 7-day challenge, and he's someone that I respect, someone that I've worked with, someone who's been a mentor, a customer, a client, a business partner, a business associate, and he's basically my testimonial, someone who can speak on behalf of the things that I've done to help him professionally. And I won him over quickly. I presented a class for him, and basically I won him over quickly. When I presented that class, it's like, hey, there's something about her, I want to work with her. So that's a level of emotional intelligence. I mean, my husband has emotional intelligence. When I met him, he won me over quickly. And that's what it was. And even though, I was skeptical because of things I've been through, when a man looks at you and says, hey, I'm going to put a house on your hand, I'm going to marry you. And you're like, yeah, heard it all before, but his goal was to win me over quickly. And he did that, he won me over quickly. We were together for 9 months. After 9 months we dated, we married in 9 months. So he won me over quickly. That is emotional intelligence. So win people over quickly. Don't spend years, days, hours trying to win somebody over. I refuse to be in relationships dating somebody for multiple ample years, and I'm constantly trying to win you over. I mean, even I told my husband one day after we married, you don't have to prove yourself to me. You did that. You know what I'm saying? You did this. You did this. This is the ring he gave me when we got engaged. I picked it out at a pawn shop. No shame on me. This is the ring he upgraded for me. Picked it out at a pawn shop. No shame on me. No shame on we. That's our choice. That's what we chose to do. But he won me over, and that's what it's about. Win people over quickly. Don't spend years trying to win somebody over, trying to prove to somebody who you are, what you do, what you're going to do. Just do it. First 4 letters of my name. I'm always saying that. Just do it. So, this was day 6 of our 7-day challenge. I didn't get to come to you live today, and it's okay because the video is here for you to see. Whatever you got out of this video, please comment. Let me know what your takeaway was from this video. If you are not subscribed to my website where I send out emails regularly, where I like to connect with people, please subscribe to my website at www.c as in cat, A-N-D as in dog, Z as in zebra, I-N-C as in cat.com. As for Collins and Ziegler Incorporated, you can look me up online. Google me. You'll find me out there somewhere. And I'm always posting on social networks. I'm on every social network out there: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have multiple pages that I operate all by myself, so you can reach out to me. Like I say, I'm not socially the type of person who just likes to, for no reason, we're not just going to talk about nothing on my social media page. I don't like to do DMs, because anything that you can say to me, unless you're emailing me and talking, sending me a professional message, there's nothing to DM me about. I do Messenger on Facebook, but I'm even skeptical about that because we have so many fake pages and things out here, and you have to be leery about who you're talking to, but it's hard to be conscious, about every single person that you're talking to, or constantly checking every page of every person that's talking to you and sending you messages. So I like to be able to trust the people that are following me. I'm a trustworthy person. I'm not going to come to you with no craziness, with no, back around the way type of stuff. I just don't do that. I'm business minded. That's what I do, and that's who I am. So emotional intelligence, that was our topic today. That is what we do. If you want to know how to improve emotional intelligence, I'll tell you really quickly. For self-awareness, if you're not self-aware, guess what? Ask people what they think about you. It might not always be true, but somebody else's perception may allow you to check yourself and say, hey, well, if that person sees me like that, then there must be some reason they see me like that. And figure out what that is. And that might be your strength, and that might be your weakness. But if you really want to be self-aware of yourself and you're having trouble figuring out and finding out who you are, ask somebody. I've never really had to ask anybody. I look within myself. I question myself. So when I'm questioning me and I allow life to answer in general, I always get the answer of, Keita, this is who you are. At the same time, I respect other people's opinions of me. If you feel like I'm not the most nicest person because of whatever relationship or whatever interaction you had with me, hey, that's how you feel about me. If it's not something that I need to work out with you or address, it is what it is. Self-recognition, when you are feeling worked up, when you feeling like you need to manage yourself, take a minute to breathe. Find some way to regulate yourself, just like a temperature. If you feel your temperature is going up, find a way to cool yourself. Find a way to calm yourself down. Count to 10, leave the situation, do whatever you need to do to diffuse yourself so you can be more regulated. Motivation, find somebody who's non-judgmental to be around. If you don't have anybody who's non-judgmental to be around, we live in a technology advanced world where there are so many resources. There are videos on YouTube, motivational videos where you can find something to just stimulate your mind and lift your spirits. Just listen to that stuff. Put your earphones in. Take a minute, go sit in the corner, separate yourself from everybody and feed yourself some motivation, some positivity, something good. Play my video. This should motivate you. This should make you want to do better, feel better, think better. That's what it's about. Empathy. If you want to increase your level of empathy and become more emotionally intelligent, be able to build wealth in that area. Acknowledge and validate other people's emotions. I will acknowledge and validate your emotions, but if you don't respectfully do the same for me, it's nothing that I can do. I can't just constantly agree with you about who you are and how you feel if you're not open-minded enough or emotionally intelligent enough to look at me and say, well, hey, she has her own feelings. She does not necessarily feel like I feel, and I might not ever feel like you feel, and you might not ever feel like I feel. But the way to increase empathy with yourself and build yourself up empathetically with others is acknowledge that somebody else has emotions and feelings, and they aren't yours. And we're human. We're not supposed to be clones out here. Everybody's supposed to be thinking the same, feeling the same. That's not how it should go. You should have individual feelings and thoughts that you process on your own without somebody having to feel like somebody else feels. But if you sympathize with that person, if you have sympathy and you can relate, if you know what those feelings feel like, then that's a different level. You can say to that person, hey, I empathize with you because I know I've been there. I did that. But if you don't, you just don't. So don't get mad at somebody else if they don't feel the way that you feel. Social skills. If you want to increase your social skills, before giving constructive criticism, explain that you want to help someone, not judge or blame them for how you're talking to them or what you're talking to them about. I love constructive criticism. I love it. I embrace it. I don't like somebody just deliberately trying to tear me down and make me feel less of myself. But if you can say to me, hey, Keita, you were doing that and maybe you want to do this differently. It's like I had a lady offer to look at my website and tell me how I needed to improve it. Okay, go right on ahead. She looked at it. She told me all the things that she saw, that if I do it this way, do it that way, if I take away this, if I add this, how it will make my website better. She was giving me constructive criticism. She was building me up. I appreciate that. And she did it for free. That's wealth right there. You know what I'm saying? She gave it to me. Of course, she's also charging because that's a service that she offers. But I happened to come across her and, she gave me that service. So I appreciate that. Be open to constructive criticism. Be open to somebody telling you what you do is not what you need to be doing. My slogan for my company, Collins and Ziegler Incorporated, is the house that builds wealth in communities worldwide. My vision is to touch people and try to help and build as many people up as I can all around the world. I have no limits on the amount of communities or what communities my vision will enter into. I'm not limiting myself on that. So I'm open to constructive criticism, and I appreciate being around people who are open to constructive criticism as well. But again, it's a difference. It's a fine line between being a a person who gives someone constructive criticism versus just being critical and judgmental towards somebody. There's a difference, and it feels different. People know the difference between you just telling me, say for instance, I look a hot mess versus, Keita, you need to go get your eyebrows arched. And yes, I do. Thanks COVID-19 that all the places are shut down because I can't get that done. But yes, if you tell me your eyebrows need to be arched, and it's because you're telling me because you feel like it's something that will open up my face and make me look a little bit more feminine than I maybe look right now, I look a little wolf-eyed, then I have no problem with that. But don't come at me just talking to me like, I look like Cookie Monster Grover from Sesame Street and all that, and I don't need all that. I don't need all that. Say what it is and let it be what it is. Anyway, an hour and 15 minutes. We are done. Day 6. I made it happen with or without the live video feed, but I have this recorded, so of course I can use it later, and then I can always look back and critique myself, on what I'm doing. But anyway, remember, emotional intelligence. Number 1, self-awareness. Number 2, regulation, management, self-management. Number 3, motivation. Number 4, empathy. 5, social skills, emotional intelligence. There it is, people. Have a good day. I will see you all tomorrow, day 7. Oh, we are scheduled to start tomorrow 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. My guest is coming to us from California. He's on 2 o'clock time. I think, what are they on in West Coast time? Whatever that is, Mountain time, I don't know. Anyway, see you all tomorrow for Spiritual Awareness Sunday. Have a great day, everybody.